Welcome to the Daily Five.
100th episode, Hootenanny Live, spectacular extravaganza the first.
We agreed on something much simpler, Zeke. Anyways, before we begin, please make sure that you right-click on your screen and select the setting Fit to Frame. That way, you'll be able to see us in our full glory. Now, with that out of the way, thank you for tuning in to your favorite 5-ish minute SLA update. I'm Jasmine Tran.
And live from San Ramon, I'm Zeke Samoy.
And before Zeke can launch into a monologue, yes, what you are seeing is true. We are indeed live, and contrary to popular belief, that is not typically how the Daily 5 at 10 operates. So I'm going to be upfront and apologize immediately for any mistakes Zeke might have.
That's right. That's right, Jasmine. Today is a special day for the Daily 5 at 10, as many of you might know. It's our 100th episode. And because so many of you are tuned in, I'm getting my ear. Yep, at least 10. We are giving away several prizes throughout today's episode.
Because that's why most of you are watching in the first place.
Well, I thought it was for all the Ed cameos, or the fact that the show helps foster a sense of unity by keeping everyone in the SLA up to date on company events, industry news, and employee milestones, all done in our signature quick-witted banter. And speaking of keeping everyone up to date, we actually have two new Slayers to announce today.
Everyone, please join us in welcoming Kinjal Pamar, as well as someone you already are familiar with, Angela Lamb.
Kinjal will be joining our technology team as a software engineer, while Angela will be joining the digital communications team as a full-time communications specialist. Welcome officially to the SLA, you two.
And to everyone else watching right now, I think one of you deserves a prize.
Right now, but you can't. It's on the script.
Zeke, buddy, let me tell you a little something about showbiz. With live TV, anything goes. I'm going to give a $100 Visa gift card to the first person we saw logged in for today's episode. But sorry though, senior staff, you're out of the running. And that person was Taylor Collins. Congratulations.
Slay my name, slay my name. You're my Destiny's winner. But of course, you're only our first winner. All throughout today's episode, we will be announcing winners who will each receive a $100 Visa gift card. So stay tuned to see if you're one of our lucky winners.
Along with announcing winners, we're also going to have some special guests. We have some friends of the show coming on. We're announcing a brand new Daily 5 at 10 segment that will be airing later this month. And we'll be having a conversation with our CEO, Ben McKay. You won't want to miss a second.
And speaking of seconds, Jasmine, you've been gone for quite a while.
Yep, I was in London.
For exactly 604,800 seconds. A week in most people's approximations.
Correct. Yep, Tam and I were there to accompany a class of risk management and insurance students from CU Denver, a school that the SLA has continually supported in many ways.
You know, that's so knowledge-able, collaborative, and motivated of you. How did you like old London town? Did you see the old Big Ben or the Helen Mirren?
Oh, London was beautiful. The students from CU Denver are so great. In fact, some of them are watching right now. So shout out from the entire SLA to our new friends in Colorado.
Go Avs!
We visited insurance companies such as Aon, AIG, and Zurich, and we also got an exclusive tour of Lloyd's of London. Tam and I also brought back tons of footage for everyone to see. But before we get a sneak peek of that, let's announce some more winners.
Yep, I've got our first batch of names coming in right now. My sincerest apologies if I mispronounced any of your names. But the winners we got are Paul Cruz, Kathy Hankins, Annie McFate, and Erica Rockmore. You've all won $100 Visa gift cards. Just be sure to keep an eye on your SLA emails after the show to receive your gift cards.
Slaytastic. We've got plenty more gift cards to give away. But for now, Ed, please roll that clip.
As someone who's extremely jealous of you going to London, Jasmine, I will say that it is really great to see the SLA support our industry as a whole. But now it's time to make you jealous. I hear Ed and I will be taking a trip to the California oasis known as Merced.
Oh, that sounds great. I'm really happy for you.
Now, did you bring anything back from London to the show?
Oh, not from London, unfortunately. But I did bring some friends of ours to the show. So please welcome Phaedra Jackson and Meryl Benson.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Hi.
Yes, thank you both
Good
for coming.
to be back.
Yes, thank you for coming back on the show. Not that we ever need a reason to have you guys back on, but as Jasmine and I thought, it'd be more than appropriate to highlight both of your help with the show over the past 99 episodes.
Yeah, we couldn't have made it to 100 episodes without you. Nor could we have done it without everyone else who has come onto the show for interviews, written in requests, or to catch our mistakes, or been pestered with questions from Zeke and I.
Mostly Jasmine. But anyways, thank you to all of our friends at the Daily 5 at 10. It takes a lot more than old Jasmine and I to make this show. And we really appreciate everyone who has helped us reach this point.
But let's not be rude to our
I
guests.
would never be rude to our guests. Let's make that very clear.
So, Phaedra, if you don't mind, can you explain to the fine people out there in SLA land how you help us with the show?
Sure, my official position is chief clacker and floor manager.
And for those who don't know what those positions are,
Well, I get to clack this amazing thing and go, action.
Nice.
I also direct the guests on their positions and where to stand and sit inside the studio. I also help with gathering props and sending out the daily gift cards.
oh, so did you hear that, people? If you ever received anything on the show, any prize or anything, you have Phaedra to thank.
Sorry about that, Phaedra. I think another massive part you help out with is run our makeup department.
Well, department is a strong word, but I do help with our guest makeup and I help whatever's necessary. First blooper. And of course, Zeke, that's all the time for you.
Yeah, you know what they say, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Well, we always appreciate your help. And since you're in charge of giving out our daily giveaway winners, would you mind giving out our next batch of winners today?
Of course. So I want to apologize if I mispronounce anyone's name. But our first winner is Derek Chung, Chandrani.
Mukhopadhyay.
Thank you, Zeke. Amir.
Amr.
Oh, hey, I was right. First time. And Irene DeLeon and Claudia Benitez.
Yay!
Yay! Awesome. Now, Meryl, you've been on the show a couple times now. And helped us out with some of the show's props as well.
Yes, actually, this is my second time, and it's good to be back. Thank you guys for having me.
Of course.
And you guys had me on Employee Spotlight, and I made a few cakes for you guys.
Yeah.
But this is an extra special occasion.
Almost like a birthday.
I decided to make you guys a cake. I made it extra for you guys, okay?
Thank
Can we bring it
you.
in, please?
Whoa.
No way.
Oh my
That's so cool.
Yes, of course.
Don't drop it.
Oh,
Wow.
is that John Tang
Whoa.
of DC?
DC. Digital communications team. Wow. That's incredible. Now, I mean, I think the least we could do to ask of you, Meryl, is would you mind?
Lighting the cake?
Of course, my pleasure. Okay. Who's gonna blow it? You guys, of course.
Oh,
You're the
okay.
face of the show.
Well, sure. Whoa.
I hope I won't set off.
No,
the
you won't.
alarms
You got those
over
uninstalled
here.
years ago.
Okay, okay.
Kidding. That's a joke. That's funny.
There you go.
wow.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
I'm gonna move it over here for you guys.
Wow.
So you can
Wow.
Oh, should we sing a song?
make
Sure.
a wish.
Yeah.
Happy 100th episode birthday to us.
And may our wildest SLA dreams come true.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Whoa,
Right,
just
1, 2, 3.
Yay!
Great. Thank you so much again, Meryl. I'm going to ask you to do one more thing. That's announce our next 5 winners.
Of course. That's what I'm here for. Okay, I apologize in advance if I butcher your names and mispronounce them, but I got you guys $100 Visa gift cards. First winner, Claude. I'm very sorry, I might butcher this. Claude Bulingi. We have number 2, Christine Weimers. Alina Dital. Hi, fam. Congratulations. Azam Shazad and Cicely Regan.
Wow, congrats everyone, yay! And I seriously cannot get over how great this cake looks. I mean, Meryl, you're so talented doing things like this. And might I remind everyone that our Employee Appreciation Luncheon was designed almost entirely by yours truly.
That's right. I was so happy that SLA let me lead the design efforts for that event. And, you know, I just had a free reign to pursue my vision. And of course, I love doing creative work for events and for you guys. And I could not wait to help out with the next SLA event. But I mean, since we're already here and talking about my work. Don't we just show it off? Please, Ed, roll that clip.
And go here.
Right now?
Go here.
Hey, what's up, SLA? I'm Eric.
And I'm Ed. I know a lot of you must have been wondering what the special announcement would be on today's episode. And guess what? It's us.
We're gonna be hosting be the host of a brand new daily 5 to 10 segment we're calling The Last Minute.
3, 2, 1.
Airing on September 7th, it's a show dedicated to NFL football and making fun of the entire NFC East division, like the Cowboys.
That's right, E. Instead of the weekly football pool over email, we want to discuss football on the daily 5 to 10.
So if you've ever been at the SLA for more than a year, you will know we have a weekly football pool where we release each week's schedule of games, and you, the Slayer, select which team you think will be the winner of each game.
The person who correctly selects the most winners for the entire week will win a prize.
Yay, prizes and winning. Who doesn't like prizes and winning? Speaking of which, we have some prizes to give away right now. Our apologies if Eric and I mispronounce any names, but our next 5 winners are, and I got 2 of them, got Brian Dang and Runa Joshi. Congratulations.
And I have Jason Law, my homeboy Josh Patton, and my homegirl Debbie Carr.
Congratulations and enjoy your $100 Visa gift cards.
But before we head out, we just want to remind everyone that The Last Minute will air its first segment on Wednesday, September 7th. Perfect time for the start of the NFL season, which begins on Thursday, September 8th.
So tune in to the Daily 5 at 10 to get your weekly fix of me, Eric, and NFL hijinks, and so I can remind Eric on air every time the Giants lose.
The season hasn't even started yet, and you're already talking about my boys.
Of
man.
course. Yeah.
That's cool, Ed. But speaking of winning, I do recall a softball team called the Bay Squad, and their captain, who's representing from New York, come back from a 12-1 deficit and crush the opposing team, the Sluggers. You know what? Let's just roll the clip. Let's just roll the clip, Ed.
We're back and with a very special guest.
A man that requires no introduction, the Slayer of all Slayers, our CEO, Ben McKay. Ben, seriously, thank you so much for coming onto the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, very kind of you to say, Ben, but there'll be plenty of time for you to gush about us later on in the show. let me
I
just
will
say.
indeed.
Right now, since we have you, you wouldn't mind sticking around for our employee spotlight, would you?
Not at all. I'd
Right,
love
great.
to.
Awesome. Well, I guess that means it's time for our employee spotlights.
Perfect then. I'm certain you all know how this works, but we've got our 3 questions. Where are you from? What are you doing? And where are you going? How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Awesome. So then let's jump right in with where are you from and what did you do before the SLA?
Okay. Well, I always, whenever I hear you guys talking about that, I feel like this is, your origin story
Exactly,
kind of
yeah,
question.
precisely.
So I'll go back a little farther than most people and start with sort of my history, the things that I think will inform you about what makes me tick. On my mother's side, my grandparents were dirt farmers, and they died before when I was very young, so I don't have many memories of them. But my mother kind of became my hero when I was in high school because she went to college and sort of modeled for me what a student really should be and how a student should be serious in their academic pursuits. And that really changed the course of my life because I wasn't maybe the most academically focused person until that point. On my father's side, my grandfather was orphaned when he was 8. He and his two sisters, and so they were placed in different homes. And my grandfather was placed in an apartment in Secaucus, New Jersey, And when he got to the apartment, there was a still to make alcohol, like a moonshine still. And apparently the story is that the mob would have people put stills in their house, and each day they'd come around and collect a gallon of moonshine from each apartment. Now the problem with the still is it's a pressurized mechanism. And if the pressure builds up too much and there's nobody there to let the pressure out, they're either asleep or drunk or whatever, they'll blow up.
Fair.
And in my grandfather's neighborhood, that happened. And it killed everyone in the apartment. And that was sufficient to scare him out of the apartment. And for a couple months, he slept on the front steps of the apartment till he could find other accommodations. So through his life, he became a boxer, started working on a pig farm. Eventually bought some pigs, started his own farm, had a modicum of success. Met my grandmother, wanted to get married, went to her parents and asked for her hand in marriage. And they said, to you? No way. And he said, well, how about if I buy you some living room furniture? And they said, oh, in that case, sure. I know, it's a fact. It's sort of sad. But they ended up getting married. She was a wonderful person. He was smart to do whatever it took to get her. My father, he owned an independent laundry truck. So it was a single owner operator laundry truck, and he would drive that in the winter. And then in the summer, he had a campground in upstate New York. And the campground was only open for 3 months a year. So when he was running the campground, I'd drive the truck. And if you've ever been in a laundry truck, which I'm sure you have.
Oh, yes. Right.
They stink because it's all dirty clothes. Right? So my father would tell me, I'm having you drive this truck so you'll go to college. Because if you don't go to college, you're going to drive this truck for the rest of your life.
Smart.
And I don't know if that was true or not, but it was sufficient to get me to go to college and apply myself. So I ended up starting off at Florida State University, got a political science degree and a theater undergrad. And people on this coast don't realize Florida State's a top 20 public university. From there, I went to Harvard, got my master's degree. From there, I got a scholarship to Catholic to get my law degree. And then I worked in and around government for most of my life. And I had 2 key jobs in government. One was chief of staff for the Florida Department of State, and another was chief of staff for a member of the United States Congress. Those were amazing, exciting. I could do a whole show on the cool stuff in those jobs. If you ever get a chance to do that kind of work, you should.
You should. Okay.
And then I got a job. I was recruited off of Capitol Hill to be a lobbyist, to run the federal government relations for the largest insurance trade association in the country. At the time, they were called PCI, Property Casualty Insurers. And 10 years ago, somebody called me when I was working there and brought me out here. And I've been at the SLA for, well, as you guys know, just about 10 years.
Yeah. Okay, so since you've been on both coasts, I always ask, which would you prefer, East Coast or the West Coast?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the West Coast is better as a coast. There's just more cool stuff out here. The weather's better. It's just amazing. All my family lives on the East Coast, so I like going there as well, particularly down in Virginia and Florida. I don't like the Northeast so much.
Okay.
Too gray, too cold. My wife's from Boston. Mm-hmm. Every time I go there, I'm like, that's why we don't live here. It's never the sun never comes through. Great city, love the city, and I went to school there. But it's just you get about 4 months a year that are great.
And the other 8 are
other 8 are tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I moved there in June, and it was gorgeous. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the greatest place on earth. People were rowing boats down the Charles River. And then 3 months later, I looked outside, and there were 4 feet of snow. I said, oh, okay, this is a little different. I moved there from Florida, so it was quite an adjustment.
More than fair. All right, so I guess we'll get moving on to number 2. What are you doing? I think we all know you're the CEO.
Yeah. So mostly I'm sort of that go-between between the board and the senior leadership and the employees, and trying to execute that vision and trying to help the board shape that vision along with the senior staff, and then along with the executive team, trying to manage the operations, trying to create a truly excellent organization, which is what it's really all about for us. In my not work time, I've got 3 kids, including a daughter who's starting high school tomorrow. So we have a very active kid life. They all play soccer. My son also plays baseball. So I spend a good portion of my life at games, which is awesome. I love it. And then I like to fish. And in fact, I'm going on the fishing trip.
Oh,
this
you are?
Saturday.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I know my parents always had a favorite sport they watch me play. Do you have a favorite sport you watch, like you enjoy watching your kids play?
So my kids are all in travel, so they play a lot of games. And what ends up happening is you gravitate, at least in my case, to different groups of parents. You're like, oh, the parents on this team, all the dads show up. On this team, all the moms show up. And so it kind of gets
It depends on the parents.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the team and the parents. They all take on their own culture, and it sometimes shifts over time. But I probably like watching my son play baseball and my daughters play soccer.
Okay. All right.
That's what I would say.
Fair.
Awesome. So finally, we have our last question. Where are you going? Any future plans or goals?
Well, to continue, obviously helping the SLA or trying to lead the SLA is number one. Number two after my family.
Yeah.
In terms of travel, I know a lot of people like to talk about travel. A couple years ago, 2 other families in our family went on this European vacation, and we went to France and Monaco and Italy, and it was, life-changing. It was so great. And so we're talking about next year doing a similar kind of 3-family trip, but do the south of Spain and the north of Africa, northern Africa and southern Spain.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, I hope that happens.
Yeah, that'll be fantastic.
Yeah, I've never been to either, so it'll be a new life experience, hopefully a peak experience.
Is there any country in particular you're most excited to visit?
Monaco.
Okay. Yeah.
I just feel like that's going to be a whole different
world.
experience. Yeah.
I can teach you French if you want.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, very minimal.
Oh, yeah.
It's not great. It's not great.
About 10 words.
Yeah, exactly. 10 times. But I mean, that's really awesome to hear. And I guess that's the 3 questions, unfortunately. But so we thank you, Ben, for being our Employee Spotlight. And again, thank you for the opportunity for us to run the show.
You guys do an awesome job.
Thank you so much. I didn't think we'd ever get to 100 episodes when we started, but here we are.
I know. I mean, that's when you think about it, that's 500-ish minutes of content. Off the top of my head, that's more than the entire Star Wars prequel trilogy.
You know that off the top of your head.
Regardless, I think that puts into perspective how much time and effort we've been putting into this show. And I think, Ben, if you don't mind, you'd be the perfect person to ask this to. Why? Why are we, making the show? What makes it so important? What's the purpose of it? And why are you letting a madman such as myself run the show?
Well, all excellent questions. We spend a lot of time on the senior staff talking about the why. Why do we do everything we do? Why this goal? Why this department? Why this effort? Because if we can't answer that question, we shouldn't be doing it. In this case, to me, the why is because this is literally, to my mind, the number one culture building tool I've seen in any corporate setting. People do events like we do, and they're awesome, and ours, I think, are world-class, better than anyone. But I don't see anyone doing this. And this is a way for us to build our culture. And, I've used this quote before, but Peter Drucker, the master of management, said, culture eats strategy for breakfast every day. And so you could have the best strategy in the world. Oh, we're going to do this. We're going to create this new product. It's going to be awesome. But if you can't execute on that, if you don't have a corporate culture that enables you to execute and implement that strategy, the strategy is worthless. And so here we're building that culture. It's a lot of ways to touch our employees. One example would be I was with a colleague down in Florida. I'm on the board of a company down there, and I was talking with the CEO about this, and he said, oh, it sounds great. Let me see an episode. So I showed him the one with John. And when it was over, he looked at me and said, oh my goodness. He goes, I feel like I know the guy. He's like, he's a great guy. And I said, that's especially in a remote work environment, how are you going to get to know how great everyone is, how smart, beautiful minds, crazy cool backgrounds. Collaborative knowledge. Thank you. Yes. And that's a way to do it. This is a great way for us to get to know each other because we're not all together anymore. So it crosses a lot of bounds and hits a lot of trigger points. I think this is going to be the standard for corporations as soon as they figure out what we're doing.
Well, we couldn't have said it better even if we tried. Thank you, Ben, once again, and we're endlessly appreciative of you letting us run the show and empowering us to put our own spin on it. So, to you and the entire SLA, thank you so much.
Very well.
And I know we typically give away a $50 Visa gift card to our employee spotlights, but since you are senior staff and the seniorest of staff, unfortunately we're unable to give you that.
So we got you something even better. This is a gift from Tam and I from London.
Oh, thank you.
And this
How
is
awesome.
An exclusive Daily 5 at 10 mug.
Yes.
First of its kind.
Wow.
Our faces on it.
Handsome mug.
Well, thank you, but I get uncomfortable looking at it.
Oh, there's another side.
Yeah. Now as we come to the end of our program, and well, we reach probably well past 500ish minutes. We still have some more prizes to give out, and we have just the right person to do it. Ben, I know this is quite symbolic. Would you mind giving away our last $500 in prizes? Each dollar representing 1 minute. Day 5 at 10 has been on air.
I love it. The symbolism.
The symbolism
is
is
thick. It's thick. Okay, great. Our winners are Isaiah Jackson. Congratulations. Jane Ramirez. Congratulations. Pragya Gupta. Congratulations. Alice Doe. Congratulations. And Eric Walcott, who was just on. Wow. Congratulations, Eric. I get to congratulate you in person.
Well, now that we're all out of prizes,
And because I paid for them, I'm all at cash.
I think it's time that we wrap up today's episode. Thank you so much to everyone, and we couldn't have done this without you. As always, replacing your Daily Word Coffee Break, I'm Jasmine.
I'm Zeke.
And I'm Ben.
Thank you, and good night. And that about wraps up our very first Daily 5 at 10.
I hope you all are excited about the latest SLA Digital Communications project.
And you better.
April Fools! Believe it or not, Zeke and I did not actually turn into those adorable little dogs.
Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Jasmine.
Say it.